Picture this, a world without twinkling Christmas lights, without the scent of fresh pine from the Christmas tree, without the jolly figure of Santa Claus. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Yet, there was such a time when the traditions we now associate with the festive season were yet to be born. This is a journey back in time, a journey that will take us from the present day to the very roots of our beloved Christmas celebrations. We travel back to the stone and timber dwellings of our ancestors. From the commercial rush of gift buying and the merriment of carol singing, we venture back to a simpler time when gifts were tokens of goodwill and songs were sung to ward off the harsh winter. Join us as we peel back the layers of time and explore the evolution of Christmas. From its prehistoric beginnings, through the centuries of transformation, to the vibrant spectacle it is today. As we delve into the annals of history, you'll discover the fascinating stories, the ancient customs, and the enduring traditions that have shaped the way we celebrate Christmas. This is just a tale of a holiday, but a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and creativity of the human spirit. So sit back, relax, and let us take you on a magical journey through the ages. Welcome to the history of Christmas. In prehistory, long before the days of fancy decorations and jolly old St. Nick, people still found ways to celebrate during the winter season. The winter solstice, which occurs around December 21st, was a significant event for our ancestors. It marked the shortest day and the longest night of the year. With the dark and cold days surrounding them, they sought ways to bring warmth, light, and joy into their lives. In ancient times, people celebrated the winter solstice with great enthusiasm. They believed that by partaking in festivities, they could ensure the return of the sun and the promise of longer, brighter days ahead. The celebrations varied across different cultures, but the general theme remained the same: to banish the darkness and embrace the coming light. One common practice among prehistoric communities was the lighting of bonfires. These fires served multiple purposes. They provided warmth and light, symbolized the power of the sun, and ward off evil spirits. People would gather around the fire, sing songs, dance, and share food and drink. It was a time of communal togetherness, where everyone put aside their worries and celebrated the resilience of the human spirit. Gift-giving, another familiar aspect of modern-day Christmas, also existed during prehistory. However, the gifts were much simpler and had symbolic meanings. People would exchange handmade crafts, food, or even natural objects like seashells or stones. These gifts were meant to represent love, good luck, or blessings for the new year. While the ways our ancestors celebrated in prehistory may seem primitive compared to our contemporary festivities, the essence of their celebrations remains within us. The desire to come together, bring light into the darkness, and show appreciation for one another is a timeless part of the human spirit. Before Jesus, the celebration of Christmas as we know it today didn't exist. However, various ancient civilizations and cultures had their own festivities during the winter season. One such celebration can be traced back to the Roman Empire. The Romans celebrated Saturnalia, a festival dedicated to the god Saturn, which lasted for several days in late December. During Saturnalia, social norms were turned upside down and people engaged in feasting, gift-giving and merrymaking. It was a time of joy and revelry. In Norse mythology, the winter solstice was marked by the celebration of Yule. This festival, which lasted for about 12 days, was a time to honor the gods and ancestors, as well as to welcome the return of the sun and the promise of longer days. Yule involved feasting, drinking, and the burning of the Yule log. In ancient Egypt, the Feast of Ra celebrated the rebirth of the sun god Ra, which coincided with the winter solstice. The Egyptians believed that Ra's daily journey across the sky represented the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. During the feast, people would light torches, offer prayers, and make offerings to ensure the sun's return and the continuation of life. In these ancient celebrations, the common themes were the recognition of the changing seasons and the cyclical nature of life. The focus was on expressing gratitude, spreading joy, and fostering a sense of community. While these festivities did not directly relate to the birth of Jesus, they laid the foundation for some of the customs and traditions associated with Christmas today. After the death of Jesus, the early Christians faced many challenges. They were determined to spread the teachings of Jesus and to celebrate his life, but they faced persecution, opposition, and the risk of being forgotten. During these challenging times, they found solace in coming together as a community to remember and honor Jesus. In the first few centuries after Jesus' death, there was no specific day set aside to commemorate his birth. The focus of early Christianity was primarily on his death and resurrection. It was not until the 4th century that the idea of celebrating Jesus' birth gained prominence. At that time, the Roman Empire was the ruling power and Christianity was on the rise. To unite the Christians and to assimilate their beliefs into the Roman culture, Emperor Constantine declared Christianity as the official religion of the Roman Empire. This gave Christians the freedom to openly practice their faith without fear of persecution. Around the same time, various Christian communities started observing Jesus' birth on different dates. Some celebrated it in March, while others celebrated it in April or May. However, it was in December that Christmas started to gain traction. December already had a significant celebration called Saturnalia, which was a festival dedicated to Saturn, the god of agriculture. To establish an alternative and Christian celebration during this time, many Christian leaders decided to adopt December 25th as the official date for Christmas. This date was chosen because it coincided with the winter solstice and many pagan festivals that were already widely celebrated. By blending their celebration with existing traditions, Christians hoped to attract more people to their faith. Over time, the celebration of Christmas evolved. It began as a simple religious observance, but traditions like exchanging gifts, decorating trees, and singing carols were gradually incorporated. In medieval times, Christmas was a festive and religious celebration observed by people in Europe. The festivities began on Christmas Eve, December 24th, and continued until Epiphany, January 6th. The celebrations were more focused on religious customs and traditions rather than the commercial aspects we see today. Christmas was a time when people gathered together to rejoice and commemorate the birth of Jesus Christ. Church played a central role in the festivities, with elaborate masses held to honor Christ's birth. These masses were known as Midnight Mass and were celebrated at midnight on Christmas Eve. During the Christmas season, people would decorate their homes with evergreen branches, holly and mistletoe. These greenery decorations symbolized life and hope during the long winter months. Additionally, people would hang wreaths on their doors as a sign of welcome. Feasting was an important part of the Christmas celebrations. People enjoyed lavish meals consisting of roasted meats, poultry, and rich desserts. Special dishes like mince pies, gingerbread, and plum pudding were prepared, although the ingredients and flavors varied across regions. Gift-giving was also a custom during medieval Christmases, but it was not as widespread as it is today. Nobles and lords would give gifts to their subjects and show their benevolence. Small tokens such as coins, homemade crafts, and edible treats were common presents. However, the practice of gift-giving was more dominant during New Year celebrations. Entertainment during Christmas included music, dancing, and theatrical performances. Minstrels and troubadours would entertain people with songs and tales. Towns would organize processions known as mumming or mummer plays, where locals dressed in costumes and performed skits and plays. In conclusion, medieval Christmas celebrations were centered around religious observances, feasting, and community gatherings. The focus was more on expressing gratitude towards God and sharing joyful moments with loved ones, rather than the materialistic traditions we see today. The celebration of Christmas in early modern history was a festive and joyous occasion that brought communities together in merriment and revelry. During this period, which spans roughly from the 16th to the 18th centuries, Christmas was observed with various customs and traditions that have evolved over time. In many parts of Europe, Christmas festivities began on December 24th, known as Christmas Eve. On this night, families would gather to attend a special church service known as Midnight Mass, where they would sing carols and offer prayers. Afterward, they would return home to enjoy a festive meal together. One popular and enduring tradition during this time was the decoration of the Christmas tree. It is said that German Protestant reformer Martin Luther was the first to introduce this practice by adorning an evergreen tree with candles to replicate the starry night sky that shone above Bethlehem. Over time, the use of ornaments and lights became common, bringing joy and wonder into homes during the holiday season. Gift-giving was also an important part of the early modern Christmas celebration. It was customary for people to exchange small presents, such as handmade crafts, sweets or fruit. The wealthier classes often gave generous gifts to their servants as a gesture of appreciation. In some regions, people would dress up as Father Christmas or other mythical figures, going from house to house to entertain and distribute gifts. Social gatherings and feasts marked the Christmas season. Friends and neighbours would gather to share in the festivities, enjoying music, dancing and games. Traditional dishes such as roast goose, mince pies and mulled wine were served, adding to the warmth and cheer of the occasion. Overall, the celebration of Christmas in early modern history encompassed a combination of religious devotion, gift-giving, feasting and socializing. It was a time when communities came together to commemorate the joyous birth of Christ and to create lasting memories with loved ones. Over the centuries, Christmas has undergone substantial changes, transforming from a modest religious holiday to the dazzling celebration we know today. Exploring the evolution of Christmas from its early modern history to the present offers valuable insights into the customs and traditions that contribute to the festive season. In early modern history, Christmas was primarily a religious observance centered around the birth of Jesus Christ. This solemn occasion was marked by attending church services, conducting prayers, and fasting. While festivities did occur, they were relatively understated compared to modern practices. During the Victorian era in the 19th century, Christmas began to shift towards a more secular celebration. Influenced by timeless authors like Charles Dickens, the holiday took on a more family-oriented and sentimental character. This period saw the rise in popularity of Christmas cards, carol singing, and the exchange of gifts. As the 20th century progressed, Christmas transformed further with the advent of mass consumerism. The influence of commercialization reached new heights, fueled by the rise of department stores and advertising campaigns. Christmas became synonymous with shopping, gift-giving, and indulging in delicious feasts. The image of Santa Claus, originally based on the historical figure St. Nicholas, became a central figure in the modern interpretation of Christmas. Christmas is a festive season celebrated all around the world with great enthusiasm. People from various cultures and countries have their unique ways of marking this special occasion. Although customs may differ, the core idea of spreading joy and togetherness remains constant. In many Western countries like the United States, Canada and the United Kingdom, Christmas is usually celebrated on December 25th. Families come together, decorate their homes with lights and ornaments, and exchange gifts. It is common to have a Christmas tree adorned with colourful baubles, tinsel and a star on top. Friends and loved ones gather for a sumptuous Christmas feast, often centred around roast turkey or ham, and indulge in delicious desserts like plum pudding and gingerbread cookies. In some countries, such as Sweden and Norway, the celebration of Christmas begins on December 13th with the Feast of St. Lucia. Girls dress up in white robes with a crown of candles on their heads, singing carols to honour St. Lucia, the bearer of light. In Latin American countries like Mexico, Christmas is a vibrant and lively celebration known as Las Posadas. From December 16th to 24th, communities reenact Mary and Joseph's search for a place to stay before Jesus' birth. People go from house to house, singing songs and seeking shelter, until finally being welcomed in with open arms. Festivities often include nativity scenes, piñatas, and traditional foods like tamales and hot chocolate. Meanwhile, in Australia, Christmas falls during their summer season. Instead of a snowy winter wonderland, you will find people having barbecues on the beach and enjoying outdoor activities. It's not uncommon to see Santa Claus in flip-flops. Regardless of the particular customs, the spirit of Christmas remains universal. A time to give and receive love, spread goodwill, and cherish the company of family and friends. The joyous celebrations may vary from place to place, but the message of hope and happiness unites people worldwide during this festive season. As we draw the curtains on our magical journey through time, we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the history of Christmas. It's fascinating, isn't it? How traditions evolve, how customs are born, and how they shape our celebrations today. What if our ancestors hadn't started these traditions? Would we still be celebrating Christmas the way we do today? As you decorate your tree, exchange gifts and sing carols this year, remember the centuries of history that have led to these moments. Enjoy every bit of it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fascinating journeys into the past. Until next time, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.